Namo so shi ye, Namo do Namo shi ye so hai. Ye ju dang zu ge ju na la, jiang jiu ban du dan de gan zu jie, da ge ju ni ki bie cong nang gi, ru la ben jie sang ge zhu ba shu. Ju dang zu ge ju na la, jiang jiu ban du dan de gan zu jie, da ge ju ni ki bie cong nang gi, ru la ben jie sang ge zhu ba shu. Ju dang zu ge ju na la, jiang jiu ban du dan de gan zu jie, da ge ju ni ki bie cong nang gi, ru la ben jie sang ge zhu ba shu. Pe ge ju jin me do zhang, shi ra ling shi ni de gen ba di, san ge xin do min de mu wa ye, zhu ge nan da xin ba ju ba shu. Gu lu ran na men da la gang li ya da ya mi.
Lu de wa jin na sin de ta da de sin de ma na chi ka din chi cha ba ma ma ji ka chi ja ni ma she ba na to ji mu ji din je ma de na de wa de ja lang de lo chi de wa ge de ba ji yo ne de ga ti ji mu de ji ma de de wa de ji de wa ti ji to ba de na chi de ma chi de de da da shi ni ba la ma la shi ji la de so ce wa tu ya sha bu ji ta mi ne ba ji sha bu ji.
We adjust our sitting posture according to the 7 meditative postures of Vairocana. Think, all sentient beings have been my mothers. All sentient beings have been my mothers, not just once, but numberless times. All sentient beings are as kind as my mother in this life. Even though all kind mother sentient beings want happiness and do not even want a small suffering, due to mistakenly engaging with objects of adoptions and objects of abandonment, they do not experience happiness even for a moment, but only suffering. In our mind, sincerely cultivate loving kindness by thinking or by reflecting how nice it would be if all kind mother sentient beings were to have excellent happiness and the causes of excellent happiness that are virtues. May they have excellent happiness and its causes. I will cause them to have excellent happiness and its causes. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so.
Ở đây thì đúng rồi này, xin chỉ là thằng chỉ đúng rồi là đúng chỉ chung một điều đó cho nên chung cho chỉ cho đó sao để ta xem như là mà là xin chỉ là đúng sao đó thì sẽ như vậy.
Next, we cultivate compassion through reflecting. How nice it would be if all sentient beings were free from all suffering and the causes of suffering that are non-virtues. May they be free from all suffering and its causes. I will cause them to be free from all suffering and its causes. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so.
Đúng rồi này, xin chỉ là thằng chỉ qua đây, số cái đúng rồi thì có số là nhà ra mà có chỉ thấy nhiều cái gì đó mà sang chỉ cũng có những cái này, sẽ đó là những cái số là nhà ta mà cái sang chỉ là xin chỉ thằng chỉ sang chỉ cũng có những cái gì cái chúng ta sao, có tôi sẽ nói chuyện con số chẳng chỉ sẽ vậy.
Next, we cultivate bodhicitta through reflecting. Who should take the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms? I should take the responsibility. Even though I should take the responsibility, I do not have the ability to place them in the state of perfect, complete enlightenment now. Who has such ability? Those perfect, complete Buddhas have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the precious state of enlightenment. Next, we meditate on emptiness for a short while. The self and the aggregate neither exist as inherently one nor as inherently different, thus is empty of inherent existence. Set a good motivation. For the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For this, I will listen to the holy teaching and practice properly in order to benefit sentient beings. So we begin with this outline, indicating the correctness that cultivating the wisdom, realizing emptiness, abandons afflictions together with their imprints. I'll repeat, indicating the correctness that cultivating the wisdom, realizing emptiness, abandons afflictions together with their imprints. And under this outline, then there is a sub-outline. It says general indication. And under this outline is verse 32, says, through cultivating the latencies of emptiness, the latencies of entities will be abandoned. And through familiarizing with nothing whatsoever exists, later on that too will be abandoned.
가자 참모 막해봐 된다 신이 가고 여장 있어 다 여장 신도 여장 다 들리 여리나야 다 미기 타는 경우도 잡았다 많이 받다 여받다 땅에 가자 더 차. 미기 타는 경우 잡았다 많이 봐 여봐 여러 와다 미기 타는 경우 잡았다 많이 받다 라면에 또 빨라는 디거 여봐서 디거로 와 미기 타는 경우 잡았다 많이 봐 라면에 여봐대 가자 대 까바이나 가자 대 까바이나 대 간다 대 대번 그 gen지 때 한번 이번에 봐 중국어로 해서 중국어로 해서 되나 나한테 가자 전부 좋아 이제는 됐을까
If one cultivates the latencies of emptiness and realizes things to be empty of inherent existence, the latencies of apprehending things as truly existent will be abandoned. So here it talks about if one cultivates the latencies of realizing emptiness and realizes things to be empty of inherent existence, the latencies of apprehending things as truly existent will be abandoned. And through familiarizing with nothing whatsoever exists, that is, the realizations of lack of true existence, later on the apprehensions of the lack of true existence as truly existent too will be abandoned. So through familiarizing with this nothing whatsoever exists, so that is the realizations of true existence. So if one were to apprehend this lack of true existence as truly existent, then that too will be abandoned. If merely the coarse object of refutations is refuted, so coarse objects of refutations. So if merely the coarse objects of refutations is refuted, means that the objects of refutations based on a quality possessor is refuted, then true existence must be refuted later on. So if merely the coarse object of refutation based on a quality possessor is refuted, then true existence must be refuted later on. So however, a refutation in which the subtle objects of refutation, which is existence not merely perceived by conventions of name, taken as the measure of true existence. So it means that the existence not merely perceived by conventions of name, then taken to exist truly to a certain degree, then has been refuted, then refutes the apprehensions of true existence from that very time, and it will immediately be severed. So it means that if one apprehends the reality, which is a lack of true existence, as truly existent, then this must be refuted later on. And if one were to refute the coarse objects of refutations based on a quality possessor, that too must be refuted. So even the subtle objects of refutation must be refuted. Next outline is verse 33, says, when it is said nothing exists, the entity that is investigated is not observed. At that time, how does a non-entity with a separated support abide before the mind?
다 데메 미베데 데메 뎀바메 바토로 버와 제파시네 뎀바메 바토바 데이세 와 데데비 미메 데와 뎀바메 바토바 데이세 데덴디게 제 공부데 취진 덴루다 자와 다 공부데 뎀바메 바토바 데이나 공부데 취진 뎀바 투바다 자와레스 그거지 다 공부를 지랑 바자데 버와
공부의 취진으로
공부 취진 공부 취진데 취진 뎀바 투바다 자와레스 그와 공부 데메 또디 공부 취진데 뎀바 투바다 자와 뎀바 투바 메바토로 취진 공부데 다 뎀바 투바다 자와 또는데 공부 뎀바 투바데 뎀바 투바 자와 또 로데 이제 지다니스 네 와스 로데 지다니스 어다 공부 뎀바 투바 취진 공부 뎀바 투바다 자와레 되나 취진다 자유 취니 레베스는 데 말이스 취진다 자와 말하고 취진데 메나 동지 취진데 메나 일단 데메 도와 시사요 말와 취진다 자와 취니 메바레 데 취니 미시바레스 미시바레 대수가 maybe 대동 뎀바 두나 다 대동데 와 공부 뎀바 maybe 대동데 뎀바 두나 다 취제티 하기도 두그래 다 대동데 공부 뎀메데 공부 대동데 뎀바 두바이나 공부 대동데 대로 히도 두그래 공부 대로 히도 와 뎀바 두바데 공부 대로 히도 두그래 와다 공부를 하고 맞아바이나 취제 공부 대로 히도 두그래 뎀바 두나 대로 히도 두그래
den동세 대한 공부기랑 신으로
공부를 하자 싫어 당연히 공부 대동 하자 싫어 공부 대동 뎀바 두나 와 두나 다 공부 대동데 취제 공부 대로 히도 두그래 정치 두그래 대 두고서다 대 대비 정치 두바 많이 맞다 공부 정치 두바 아니야 뭐만 가서도 다와 대 가서와 그 취제 거 뎀바 두바 요마스로 와 어디 가서 해로
when it is said no thing exists truly, if the thing that is investigated truly exists, then it is suitable to be observed, but it is not observed to truly exist. So, yeah. So when he said no thing exists truly, so if the thing, for example, an aggregate that is investigated truly exists. So for example, if aggregate, which is the objects of investigation, is truly existent, then it is suitable to be observed. So that truly existent aggregate is suitable to be observed. However, it is not observed to be truly existent. So if we were to properly investigate whether the thing such as aggregates is truly exist or not, then with reasoning, then if it were to exist truly, then it is suitable to be observed. And since it is not observed to be truly existent, therefore one realizes the non-true existence of the object of investigation, which is aggregate. Hence, at that time of realizing that it does not exist truly, a truly existent non-thing is refuted because its support, that is the property possessor. So property possessor, in other words, is quality possessor, is separated from true existence. So when one realizes that it does not exist truly, so it means that when we realizes the quality possessor, which is aggregates, is separated from truly existence, then then how does the truly existence abide in front of the mind or abides before the mind? So if we realize that the quality possessor, for example, aggregates, is separated from truly existence, then how does this truly existence abide before the mind? So 추진당 대위 춘이 제베스 야 추진당 대위 야
추진의 대위 진료고 뭐다 추진 연두당 대위 춘이 추진 연버도가 대위 춘이 예스라고 추진 연두 대위 춘이 예스 추진 연두 대위 춘이 소자 추진 연번 번지 로데이나 추진 연버도가 진도 지단이 더 많이
네 추진당 대위 춘이 제베스 된 말이스 애니 대한 추진당 대위 춘이 대한 통해 요 말이스
추진의 대위 춘이 요 말하지는 그 요 말아 네 추진 연두의 대위 춘이 어디서 네 추진 연버도가 대위 춘이 예스라고 와. 이 취지 대부분 자유 취지는 취지가 자유 취지는 그래서 이 취지는 맞대가 취지도 아니고 뭐 취지 때문에 받대나 뽑아라 동시 취지인지도 되나 보고 이 제발도 그런데 이 취지 내도다 좋아 그래서 뭐 이 취지에 다 되면 조금 말아 뭐 되면 좀 좋아 그래서 취지 되면 취지다 좋아 그래서 취지 되게 취지 취지가 자유 취지가 말했어.
So is there a reality or real nature that is separated from a truly existent basis? Then the answer is yes. So there is a real nature that is separated from a truly existent basis or quality possessor. So is there a reality that is separated from a quality possessor or not? And the answer is no. So because there is no real nature. Real nature is not observed when it is separated from a quality possessor. So there is a difference between these two. So the first sentence of thesis is there a reality that is separated from a truly existent basis? And the answer is yes. So there is a real nature or reality that is separated from a truly existent quality possessor. And this is the first statement. And the second statement is there a reality that is separated from a quality possessor? And the answer is no. No for the second statement. So because there is no real nature that is separated from a quality possessor. So when a quality possessor is separated, then its real nature is not observed. Then since there is no property that is separated from a property possessor, so it can also be translated as since there is no quality that is separated from a quality possessor, if the emptiness of true existence is truly existent, then the property possessor must be established in the nature of the property. Since it's the property possessors being established in the nature of true existence has been refuted earlier on. So it means that if a quality possessor, for example, aggregate were truly existent, then that truly existence must be established to be the nature of that aggregates. And however, the inherent existence of a quality possessor such as aggregates, since it is refuted earlier on, therefore, inherent existence or truly existence of the aggregate cannot be established to be its nature. So verse 33 was under the outline of detailed explanations of true existence. Detailed explanations on true existence. And next verse is verse 34, says, when neither entity nor non-entity abides before the mind, since there is no other aspect at that time, and the objects of observation are absent, elaborations are utterly pacified. 可能准그냥 자대한 마통 타마타마데
자대 고고와 자대 고고야 스코 동요 뭐 동한테 리얼로디 다 시즈데 간다 다 띵인지 뭐지 존토네 그 벤다 요로와 벤다 뭐 요로와
띵인진기
뭐지바 제법 뭐지바 그 존토네 그 요로와 근데 벤 제법 마지야게 근데 미시 연주 고속이 다 먹어봐라 이제 좀 좋아하게 그 진주 소한테 다 고속 다 두면 뭐 이거래 간다 다제 가시게 제도 가시 전도 가시 군도 센터지 뭐뭐시도 루네 그 간다 타이라 그 간다 도도도 유주요 간다 간다 하고요 it's driver what is driver that is resta dun도 다 mamborwa 디디로 이와 나 간다야 내가 주준 펜서다 간생에 당내에 저 되니 안 가다 간다 지 되니 소네 야야 토토토토 또 간다지라 꼬마 통화 차로 그러와 나 소도 거다 꼬마 통화 차로.
So this is chapter 9 verse 34, right? So then we go to verse 1. So Bodhisattva starts with the verse says, respectfully I pay homage to the Sugatas who are endowed with the Dhammakaya. Then and the point that we talk about, so when neither entity nor non-entity, so Bodhisattva Shantideva then taught Bodhisattva, then begin with the first verse, and until this verse, when verse 34 says, when neither entity nor non-entity, then that is when Bodhisattva Shantideva starts to elevate into the space. Then and as the teachings goes on, then the teaching then Bodhisattva Shantideva then goes higher and higher, so rise into the space and then goes higher and higher. So to the extent that they cannot see the holy body of Bodhisattva Shantideva, however, they can still hear the voice of Shantideva. So and then after the teaching, then and after the teaching, then they were audience who has attained the power of retentions, that are able to the power of retention. That means that they do not they have the power of memory through the power of meditative civilization. Then they they wrote down the teachings of Bodhisattva Shantideva, and they compiled it, and then there are different versions. Then there are versions of only 8 chapters, and then there are versions of 9 chapters, and there are versions of 10 chapters. So and then they went to see Bodhisattva Shantideva and confirm that there are 10 chapters in Bodhicharvatara.
어디로 가지고 와 대단들와 더 간다 응어보 덴버트 보다 응외메스 아 응외메 덴두 요메 다 로지비 로지바체와 로지바체와 간다 추진여보 덴두 인도다면도 와 응외메 신이 덴버 대동대 덴버트 바렌도 가면도 이디 로지바체오디 다 데리로 제바치비 로티고나 다 간다 덴두다 응어보 덴두다 응외메 덴두 가야 로티지나 많이 봤어 그래 가야 로티지나 많이 봐 이제 다 덴버 주변 넘바 힘 분수바 야미 뭐보 되는다 매매 되는 데레 힘이 다 덴버 주바 대님 가야 많이 봐 덴버 주고 고수 받지는 거 대니까 가야 많이 받지 다 든지 자원이요 그래서 대신 다 같이 덴버 주바지라 요나 뭐보 되는다 매매 되는 가루지 하고 와대 야와
기지 덴버 주바 요나
덴버 주바 요나 다 뭐보 되는다 매매 되는 가야 같이 하고 대 가야 제바치를 빌로 요나 네 이거 말이스 내 왔습니다. 다 딜이 신비 덴버트가 지에가 요 말이스. 내 왔습니다. 다 딜이 덴지 미데와 다 딜이 내 왔습니다. 다 덴버트가 집이 덴지 되게 미바데와 미바 간다 덴버트가 타다 내가 또봐 덴지나 덴지 쉐는 봐라 덴버트 덴지 쉐는 봐 또봐 덴지나 다 덴지게 쭈봐 타더라도 쉬그랬어. 와 덴지 되게 쉐면 봐 또와 쉐면 봐 또도 다 되게 또 거와 또봐 데이지나 다 덴지 쭈봐 타다 봐라도 쉬그랬어. 와 다 쭈봐 타다시나 쭈봐데 간다 덴지 쭈봐 다 데버 쭈봐 이제 뭐 데려와 데려 줘봐. 줘봐라도 힘을 해서 디신들이 내가 간다 내 돈이에서 자기 몰라 다 돈이게 돈이에서 배 가서 딱 봐봐마도 쓰서 줘요 말이야. 그러와 내 줘봐다 시리 다 쉬어야 되라 된다 니네고. 그러와 덴지 줘봐 가다 쉬에서 데메 똥을 된다 데려와 데메 똥도 줘봐 쉬는 거. 다 데메 똥당들라 니네고. 니 된다 니 가르려고서 다 돈이에서 도비 강사비 원나 도당지 돈이에서 도비 강사비 돈이에서 도비 가다 딱 봐봐마도 쓰서 줘요 말이야. 봐봐마 들어와 다 돈이에서 도비 강사되게 다 돈이나 니나 누비 니나가 줘봐 싫어 니나가 줘봐 안 가시는 들어와 니나 누비 쓰시도 봐다 니나가 줘봐 타다 쉬워 되게 도당지 내 봐봐마 되어 말이야. 다 대이 많이 봐 돈이 된지 지도 봐 지키려고 들어와 돈이 된지 지도 게 땅아서 쓰서 줘
봐봐 많이 봐.
봐봐 많이 봐래. 나한테 봐봐 많이 봐 쓰서 줘 쓰서 줘这个 돈이 된지 지도 게 니나가 줘봐 까도요 말 니나가 줘봐 까도요 말 내고 줘봐 까다 내고나 돈이 내고나 줘봐리 막 가봐야 돼 돈이 또야
니낭데 까마 도봐.
니나가 줘봐 까고요 말했어 니나가 줘봐 까고나 또 봐야 돼 와. 니나가 줘봐 까고요 말 니나가 줘봐 막 해봐이나 다 내고나 배 줘봐 캐고랬어
잉어라.
내고나 돈만이 또 어디 줘봐 막 그냥 때 돈만이 또야 거요 말와 내고나 배 대반하기는 되고 돈이 또야 말와 내고나 줘봐 까고 그랬어
잉어라.
줘봐 까
줘봐
줘봐 까다 캐봐 내가 지지바로 와 어서 줘디 어디에서 또 뒤집어는 또 무슨 되네
데미 대한 도기요레니 대한 된지주기요.
된지지 또야 돼 나와라 가서 대바 좀 나디 그러와 나와라 간다 줘봐 자투요 말이지 줘봐 캐투요 말이지 줘봐 다 녜고라 돈이 녜고들라 그러와 줘봐 캐로레스 녜 돈이 녜고라 줘봐 막 해봐이나 또 돈이 도야 그러가 말와
돈이 또 베잉어라.
돈이 또 녜고라 돈이 또 녜고들라 줘봐 그러스 어디
대한 니낭기 줘봐 대가.
어디나 줘봐 그러스 어디 막 가봐이나 돈이 도야 말와
돈이 또당 대양 대 잉어 그저 돈이 또 베잉어라. 니낭기 줘봐 대가기요. 가기요레. 대가네 대한 된지주기 대 도기요. 이래는 낭고라 대한 대조 대가두요.
어디 돈이 또다 니시구나 그러면 가당 되겠다
When neither a truly existent thing nor non-thing abides in front of the mind, since there is no other truly existent aspect at that time, and all focal points that are the objects of observation of the apprehensions of truly existence are absent, all elaborations are utterly pacified, or so this I will discuss later. So first, when we talk about when neither a truly existent thing nor a truly existent non-thing abides before the mind. So it means that before the minds of reasoning, so it investigates whether a thing and non-thing truly existent or not, then a truly existent thing or a truly existent non-thing do not exist in the perspective of that mind, in the perspective of that reasoning consciousness. So if thing or non-thing were to exist truly, then it must be found when this reasoning consciousness investigate them, and however is not found when this reasoning consciousness investigate them. So and there is no other truly existent aspect at that time. It means that if thing or non-thing were to exist truly, then it must be found. And there is no other truly existent aspect at that time, means that there is no third possibility exist at that time. So there is no other truly existent aspect. It means that there is no third possibility besides the truly existent thing or truly existent non-thing. So there is no third possibility exist at that time. And all the focal points that are the objects of observations of the apprehensions of true existence are absent, and all elaborations are thoroughly pacified. So it means that when one realizes that the objects of adherence of the apprehensions of true existence as non-existence, then one realizes the non-true existence. So I repeat. So when one realizes that the objects of adherence of true grasping or apprehensions of true existence, that it doesn't exist. So when one realizes the objects of adherence of true graspings as non-existence, then one realizes the non-true existence. And because of such realization, the elaborations of true graspings are pacified. Then, 4, in the perspective of a person who directly realizes emptiness, so it refers to Arya beings. So in the perspective of Arya beings who directly realizes emptiness, then even dualistic elaborations regarding emptiness are pacified. But for a realization by way of a meaning generality, so it refers to ordinary beings who realizes emptiness, but they do not realizes emptiness directly. So they realizes emptiness by way of a meaning generality. Then even though dualistic appearances have not been stopped, in its perspective, the elaborations of true existence have been stopped. So it means that in the So it means that from the perspective of from the factor of appearance, from appearance factor, the elaborations of true existence of dualistic appearances are not refuted. So here it talks about there are two factors. One is appearance factor, and another one is ascertainment factor. So from the appearance factor, the elaborations of dualistic appearance are not refuted. So they are unable to refute it yet. So, and then how do they, those ordinary beings who realize emptiness, but they do not realize them and directly, they realizes the emptiness or non-true existence by way of a meaning generality, right? So meaning they refute the elaborations of dualistic appearance from the ascertainment factor. So from the ascertainment factor means that from the factor of ascertaining, from the ascertainment factor, which is the realizations of emptiness, then that elaborations of dualistic appearance are refuted. So regarding these ordinary beings who realizes emptiness, but they do not realizes them directly, then how do they realize emptiness? They realizes emptiness by way of meaning generality. So the realizations of emptiness with relation to these realizations of emptiness or non-true existence, then there are involvement of there are two factors. One is appearance factor, and another one is ascertainment factor. So from the appearance factor, the elaborations of dualistic appearance are not refuted. So then they must the elaborations of dualistic appearance must be refuted from some perspective in order for these ordinary beings to realize emptiness, right? So the way these ordinary beings realizes emptiness is from the ascertainment perspective. So ascertainment factor. So from the appearance factor, elaborations of dualistic appearance are not refuted. And however, from the ascertainment factor, then the elaborations of dualistic appearance are refuted. So because of the elaboration of dualistic appearance are refuted from the ascertainment perspective, from the ascertainment factor, so therefore they realizes emptiness, and they realizes emptiness by way of a meaning generality.
고안을 차고 예생해서 고안을 지루와 담보 기계가 막 다티 기계 다티 동반 이제 된다는 분이 내지 예생 막 다티 근데 지금 쇼쇼 다티 지 내지 레 선사지 고아지 해고 예생 와 내 대내 손에 내 저치다지 고아 차오리 내 대내 양야 되바지 이 기계가 되바야 보지 돈이 콜라 되바지 내 대중 되라 내가 돈이 되라 대중 결혼이 하고 있지 내 대중 결혼이 하고 제자리 내들아 양야 배 상에 돈이 되잖아 니 힘들도 같이 상주 결혼 제도 같이 좋아 상주 결혼 제도와 나 돈이 문에 되다를 니도 같이 나 상주 결혼 돈이 니도 같이 나 때라 양자 공리 때네 내 양자 공리 때문에 내 돈이 남이 내 공주 불로 세토로 봐. 나 양자 공리 때문에
양겁네
양야 공대 양야 돈이 되라 양야 공리 때문에 공과 공리 때문에 공인데 내때 간다 돈이 남이 공주기 싫어 세토로 봐. 다 돈이 남이 공주기 싫어 돈이 다 용나 토로 용나 봐. 용나 토로 뭔가서 전화까지 막 뒤에 전화 두세까지 막 돈이 남이 공주기 싫어 토토요. 와, 나 두세 갈때 맞아 상주기 안세 안세 싫어 때 상주로 되게 돈이나 니빠 야 아니 아니야 그때 공부 때문에 채고 그때 아니야 공부 때문에 내 돈이는 공주기 싫어 토 돈이는 공주기 싫어 토지 나 전화한테 토는 거야 전화 토는 거 나 전화 토봤더니 다야 이제 달로 지고 막 전화 토는 데 맞아 전화 토라 저 제모스 봐 진조스 시요와 전화 토저 제모스 봐 진조스 시요 나 시토는데 나도 전화 죄토에 깔았다 돈이라면 고집으로 털어버려. 요나 죄토. 나 요나 죄 가서 그래서 돈이 양자 공부 지우지 내 돈이나 가서 다 수도 지웠으니까 니나 열과 요나 죄 정말 니나 열과 돈이나 니나 열과 니나 도도요 니나 저는 내가 소도요
ni nang dia di nang ngo gi nang ngo la dia na ni ngo na dia ka ba lo
다 나오나 간다 니나 열와 니나 열에 다 니나 열와서가 다 조나 죄 가서 달리 앉아 다 앉아 고바시오 그 조나 죄 제모스 봐 지조가라 그 니나 서야检查 진짜 차로 간다 니나들 아빠 많이 봐 차로 와 차 조나 죄가래 죄가래 제박래 니나 차와 죄 제모가 니마 차와 제모가 제박래 제박이 값 대지야 니나 차와 대를 차와 제박을 대래 진조를 니나 차와 진조가서 니나 차로
용화기 되나
오, 니나 그 다가 라파도 막 가시 로고로 와. 차저 충충으로
충
나 나와도 막 니나 충 로고로 와. 왔다 진초가 하장 처모실에 살. 나 처모한테 나때 돈아 토우디 왔다 니나 때문에 모르다. 저원 나 니나도 때 모르고 해서 나때 모르 갈라 아무리 니나 누구 그래 돈다.
때는 넣어버렸어.
니나 니스나 나때 모르 처모대 가다. 처모대 가네 내가 무슨 돈이래. 출라 취샤하는 시도도 해서 어디 보다 또 당을 리버를 보지. 나 뒤로 보시는 두서를 좋아. 못하는 뭐 고아 차고 와.
So when we want to train in emptiness, then first we need to rely on a teacher, so who listen to the explanations given by this teacher, then about the meaning of emptiness and about the meaning of emptiness. Then when we listen to the explanations about emptiness, then we developed some kinds of understanding about emptiness in our mind, and that is the emptiness of mere sound generality. So we have learned this term before, or we have exposed this. We have learned about this term before, about sound generality and meaning generality. So here it refers to mere sound generality. So the understanding of emptiness developed in our mind is mere sound generality, because we listen initially, then we listen to the explanations about the meaning of emptiness is something like this and that. Then we develop this understanding about emptiness of mere sound generality. Then we repeatedly listen to the teachings about emptiness, about the meaning of emptiness. Then we developed wisdom, a reason from hearing. Then again, we repeatedly contemplate about the meaning of emptiness. Then, to the extent that it is able to induce the ascertainment about the meaning of emptiness, then the wisdom arisen from contemplation is developed or is generated. Then again, we repeatedly contemplate, we repeatedly meditate on it. Then the wisdom arisen from meditation, that observes emptiness will develop in one's mind, and at that time, then one attains the path of preparation. So when one attains the path of preparation, when we talk about path of preparation, there are 4 stages or 4 levels, and the first one is heat, and the second one is peak, P-E-A-K, peak, and the third one is forbearance, and the fourth one is supreme mundane quality. So when one develop the wisdom arisen from meditation, observing emptiness, then one attains path of preparation, right? So one attains the first level of path of preparation, which is heat, the heat level or heat stage. Then again, one repeatedly meditate on the meaning of emptiness. Then at that point of time, even though the elaborations of dualistic appearance from the perspective of appearance factors has been refuted, and however, the elaborations of dualistic appearance from the perspective of ascertainment factor has not been refuted yet, right? So therefore, in order to free from dualistic appearance from the perspective of ascertainment factor, then one needs to meditate on emptiness again and again. Then one will progress one will progress to higher level on the path of preparation. So previously we talked about there are 4 levels, right? So when you first attain the path of preparation, you attain the heat level. So in order to progress to higher stage or level, then one needs to meditate on emptiness again and again. Then that elaborations of dualistic appearance is getting more and more subtle. So more and more subtle means that it's become smaller and smaller. So as you progress to higher level on the path of preparation, that dualistic appearance or the elaborations of dualistic appearance is getting smaller and smaller. And then when one attains the path of seeing, then one then one realizes emptiness directly, and as if pouring water into water. Then one realizes emptiness one realizes emptiness directly and without by way of vanishing the dualistic appearance. It means that one directly realizes emptiness without or free from the dualistic appearances. Next outline is fulfilling the wishes of disciples, even though there is no conception, is tenable, together with the analogy. So under this, I'll repeat the outline. Fulfilling the wishes of disciples, even though there is no conception, is tenable, together with the analogy. So under this outline is verse 35, says, just as wish-fulfilling jewels and wish-granting trees completely fulfill hopes, likewise, through the trainings and the force of prayers, the exalted bodies of the victors appear.
선화사 벤트 상지지 똑바 매기도 리슨지 되든 매매도 누르고 예스 상지에 가서 똑바 매서 상지기 도마 취시고 상들이 그런 거다 당와요 막 맞아 취시가 매매를 지죠 봐 취시가 매매를 좀 당와서 선지이나 다 당부 취시하고 그런 지성 당와 당부 취시들이 시고에서 뭐 그런 거다 당와 대마 당에 시도요 말 다 상지에 들이요 말 그런도 요 말. kuno mewa sanza ta khana gi soba dise ora sanji la dendi chhe de na bi de kuno da to ba mewa sanza ta chhe de sanji gi de ba ti mu sila ora ta de chhe yang ma sila ora ta de ji gi sanji da chhe odi de so so gi sena sa bin thui de sanji na ji to ba me shi no to de yo ma no to ba de yo ma de sanji gi de me me le de chhe no de sila ora de me le de chi ngo ji de chhe da ngo ji me lang gi ngo ji me lang gi de kanda je yi ro 수지 끝나니 그 최대한 힘도 해봐요. 그래서 간다. 뭐면은 좋은 거 무슨 다 상직 되는 누가 더 살고 와. 모두 너무 되시지 이해를 해야
So objections. So this is the objections of the opponent's objections, or the one who is arguing. So objections, or it is also translated as the objections of the previous side. So previous side refers to the opponent. So it says, or if the Buddhas have pacified all conceptions, then since they also do not think I shall reveal the Dharma to those to be subdued, it is untenable for them to enact the deeds of revealing the Dharma to sentient beings. So opponents, their objections is, so it is untenable or it is unfeasible for Buddhas who do not have conceptions to to work for the welfare of sentient beings, since Buddhas even do not have the thought thinking that I shall teach Dharma to disciples. So for them, for those opponents, then this is their objection. In response to this objection, there is no fault, because even if they do not have conceptions, so even those Buddhas do not have conceptions, just as making supplication prayers to wish-fulfilling jewels, so just as human making supplications to wish-fulfilling jewels, and God beings make supplication to wish-granting trees, it completely fulfills their hopes as desired, and likewise, through the strength of those to be subdued, having collected the merit to meet the Buddhas and the like. So through the power of the strength of those disciples, having collected the merit to meet Buddhas and the like, and the force of previous prayers for those to be subdued, may I enact the welfare of sentient beings effortlessly and spontaneously. So through the force of previous aspirational prayers, may I enact the welfare of sentient beings, effortlessly and spontaneously. So even though the Buddhas do not conceptualize, so through these two strengths, one is the strength of the disciples of having collected the merit, and the second one is through the power or force of previous aspirational prayers. Then even though Buddhas do not conceptualize or do not have the motivation thinking that I shall teach Dharma to disciples, then Buddhas enact the welfare of sentient beings effortlessly and spontaneously. So Buddha doesn't, even though is without conception and without the motivation that I shall teach Dharma to sentient beings, and in enacting the welfare of all sentient beings are accomplished effortlessly and spontaneously. So the exalted form bodies of the victors appear and reveal the Dharma. So this is very much tenable. So in relation to the previous point, is verse 36 and 37. Say, for example, having accomplished the Garuda shrine, he passed away. Yet, even though he passed away a long time ago, he still pacified poisons and the like. Likewise, the shrine of a victor is also accomplished in accordance with the deeds of enlightenment. And although the Bodhisattva has actualized Nirvana, he enacts all welfares.
That is the way I live. One month, about one day, that the Sanji won't be the Bemi Lindu, but I'm going to Melam to the bed. That in the shooting about the year, and we will Marisi Gorua. We will Marisi. That point I just about the longer. The Melam Taban dates and during Mamondos and his Jiri Bondos and the other deputy Sanji get the shooting and deputy Tibumus. Melam then get the charges and when Loba Langi Negas been Melam Tabare. Then deputy Sanji Negas been deputy Kani over there. Tibumus and that was so that level. That's about the Jay Maris, Yamba, a couple of the Jay Maris, pay the transit pay shower, transit pay, two Shivashi in Nagati, shooting the tongue of the Tibet, the Menola, the Diggy, two Shivashi to do it. What that the Diggy doing? They transit pro, do some transit in Desa Shisa in a yam, that day, Jews in Molina, that Chetu Diggy, that page, do lots of the Shivashi in Niba, idiots. For anybody, you're a Niba, but then你个要电脑性的我说，电脑性那长期性的，上级的老板让进那个长期性的，就要些把第一个是我说，当然都长期性的个是当然是没那么接，两年进来，这上去恐怕进中国话，那第二个是跟没那么接的，长期性的个是结果的，两年等这个没那么接的，那接是跟那，那算上出来一错呢，啥呢？那家也驱动主把的啦，驱动主把的呀，那主把我让你长期性把的是，长期性吧，我主把长期性吧。민이 비냥에 내가 제장 주법으로는 장치선 받았다 내가 이나 뭐와 내가 이나야 나 뒤지기로와 나 뒤지기 내가 다두기 내가 던질라 제방 가고 말했어 뒤지기 된다 들어는 제방은 가고 말했어 그 단다 저바 저런 거 저바데 진조 마셔 봐예 주인으로 하나 하면 저거 되셨어 마 고만이 뭐 장치선 비까지 주인 뭐 상지 살마 로야 상지 살아 로 주인들이 단다 쳐는 거 지금 지금 대단한 거 지금 나 준비지 나게 거 지금 모두 된다 돼. 좋아. 준비지 나게 하는 거 지금 모두. 저 준비고 나게 거 지금 모두. 준비지 나게 거 지금 모두 나왔다. 어디래? 저봐 들이 샬로.
So this is related, this objections is related to previous objection. So previous objection, it talks about if the Buddhas have pacified, if they have no conceptions, and since they do not have this motivation thinking that I shall teach Dharma to sentient beings, so therefore it is untenable for Buddhas to enact the welfare of sentient beings by teaching Dharma to sentient beings. Then in response, then these objections is refuted. Then again, they continue their objection saying, since a long time has passed since the prayers have been made, their productions of effects is not tenable, and since the prayers were made by bodhisattvas, it is not visible for their effects to be the deeds of victors. So bodhisattvas made aspirational prayers when they were on the path of training. And then their productions of effect, their productions of effects because as a Buddha is not tenable. So the productions of effects such as teaching Dharma to sentient beings as a Buddha is not tenable. So because the prayers were made by a bodhisattva, and then the effects the effects such as giving Dharma to sentient beings to be the deeds of victor is invisible. So in response to this objection, it says that there is no fault. For example, having accomplished the Garuda shrine for pacifying poisons, the Brahmin passed away. Yet, even though he passed away a long time ago, the Garuda shrine still is able to pacify poisons and the like now. So the ability to pacify poisons is the ability to pacify poisons is still a work. It still works, even though the Brahmin who accomplished it has already passed away. So similarly, the shrine of a victor is also accomplished by way of the two accumulations in accordance with the enlightened conduct by the Bodhisattva. So the Bodhisattva on the path of training then engage in the Bodhisattva deeds, and accumulate two types of merits. And although the Bodhisattva has attained non-abiding nirvana and the unsurpassed manifest enlightenment, so there is no contradiction that he enacts all temporal and final welfare of those to be subdued. So So it doesn't contradict. It doesn't contradict the enacting of welfare of sentient beings. So even though these bodhisattvas has already attained a non-abiding nirvana, so it doesn't contradict the enacting of welfare of sentient beings. So this is an argument that fails to understand the persisting of continuity. So it means that this is those who do not understand the persisting of continuity. In other words, those who do not understand the presentations of cause and effect, then they argue about this point. So the persisting of continuity means that persisting of continuity from a bodhisattva to Buddha. So since this group of people do not understand this persisting of continuity from a bodhisattva to a Buddha, so therefore they are arguing this point. Next outline is dispelling of objection. Under this outline is verse 38. Says, how will the possession of results come about by making offerings to one without mind? Because it has been explained that abiding and having attained nirvana are similar. So this is under the outlines of dispelling of objection. So here is school, they say that how will results of merit come to be possessed by making offerings to Buddhas without a conceptual mind? So here, even though he's using the same word as without a conceptual mind, and however, this is different from the previous argument that it talks about Buddhas has no conception. Here, it says Buddha without a conceptual mind. It refers to Buddhas without a conceptual mind, without the conceptual mind, without the conceptions of mind. Yeah, I repeat. So here, without a conceptual mind refers to Buddhas without a conception of mind, and the second mind refers to is M-I-N-E. So here is M-I-N-D, right? So conceptual mind, it can be translated as conception. So here, Buddhas without a conception, it does not refers to the conception of motivation of giving dharma to disciples. Here, without a conception refers to a Buddha without the conception of mind, M-I-N-E. So meaning that there is no conceptions of accepting the offerings. So for example, if a disciple make offerings to Buddhas, then Buddhas do not have the conceptions of mind, the conception that regard those offering as mind. So as M-I-N-E, as mind. So because there is no conceptions of accepting the offering. So this is Harris School's argument. So then middle way proponent says that even though Buddhas do not have the conceptions of mind, so meaning Buddhas, when one make offerings to Buddhas, and then Buddhas do not have the conception regarding those offerings as mind. So for example, if we order some food in a restaurant and then someone served the food and put in front of you on the table, then the conception regarding those food as mine arises, right? So if those food put in front of someone else, then you will not have this conception regarding those food as mine. And however, if it is put in front of you, then this conception regarding those food as mine arises. So here, similar to this example, so even though Buddhas do not have conceptions regarding those offerings as mine, however, it follows that it has been explained that merit will arise through making offerings, because it has been explained in the sutra requested by Maitri Simhananda that the two making offerings to the Buddhas when his exalted body is actually abiding. So when Buddhas is still abiding, then you make offerings to them, and then when Buddha passing into parirvana, and then to the relics. So relics here can also be translated as the representatives of body, for example, stupa and statue. So, and after he has attained a nirvana, so are similar in merit. So the merit that one accumulate through making offerings to Buddha when Buddhas was actually abiding, and also when Buddha passed away, then you make offerings to the representations of Buddha, such as stupa and statue. The merit is exactly the same. So then sutra requested by Maitri Simhananda and the benefits of circumambulating a stupa are quoted to support this point. So in the benefits of circumambulating a stupa, it says making offerings to one abiding and an equally faithful mind towards the relics of those who has attained nirvana do not differ in merit. So again, verse 39 is related to previous point. Verse 39 says, either conventionally or in thusness, it is suitable that there is a result is taught in the scriptures. For example, it is just as there is a result with respect to truly existent Buddhas.
다 도대바 그런게 덴버 좀 상지 신나도 그러와 최상지 덴버 좀 최다
도대바래 신자마 도대바
도대바니 이데바는 도와
예퇴
어디 데바 지금 최다 잡아케는 거 시도 세가 최다 최다 좀 그러려고 그러와
주주체
최 그가 나도 좀 봐. 최도 나도 좀 봐. 최다 좀 봐. 데메서 켈리 뭐야?
다기 대바
최도 나도 덴버 좀 봐. 덴버 좀 봐. 요 강가다 간다. 저런 게 그냥 덴버 좀 상지 있다고 도도 디스플레이 셔야 돼. 그런 게 상지데 덴버 좀 봐. 켈리나. 저 덴버 좀 봐. 켈리 거나 상지 덴버 좀 봐. 켈리 거나 덴버 좀 봐. 켈리 이나 저런 상지가 덴버 좀 봐. 켈리 기다. 상지는 저거 비바이나 세난 중앙 다 알아냈어. 누나 소원했어. 이게 상지 덴버 매번 대바이나 저거 비나 뒷발에서 말이네. 세난 중앙. 저런 게 덴버 좀 봐. 내가 이 상지 덴버 매번 좀 왔다 본데 그랬어. 이 간다 저거 비 니가 세난 중앙 집바시야 했어. 그 상지로 와. 집바지장 했어. 와. 어디 된다 돼. 니 도도. 와. 내 소속에 간다 되는 팀벌로 와. 소속에 상지를 비 저거 뭐 간디 비는 대단 기본 접근 중앙에 다 간다 놀 소리했어. 대단 팀바시. 소속에 세난 야 저거 비 뭐 간디는 뭐 대단 팀 접근 중으로 했어. 세난 중으로 했어. 인도를 소리했어. 뭔가서 세난 좀 뭐지다. 소속에 상지 덴반데 데버트가 이 마인데 그리 치바요 말했어. 이게 좀 말해는 거야. 이 제가 또 원해라. 아직 그 산지 따빠 있으나 피나 제가 스나 가지고 같이 산지 뭐 있으나 피나 제가 비자는 선언을 지바래. 근데 선언 좀 메나 내가 간다. 준비를 넣어요. 뭔가 준비가 나게 누구라디. 준비를 해요. 말해서 간다 된다 들어가. 준비를 해야 돼. 주요 신경 다 간다. 준비를 해요. 말해서 된다 들어가. 어디래?
Either conventionally or in thusness, it is suitable to make offerings to Buddhas and the like, that a result will arise from making offerings to them is taught in the scriptures by the Buddhas. So here, in order to debate with them or in order to refute their assertions, so then here this assertions is asserted according to the opponent's assertion. So either conventionally or in thusness. So in thusness meaning is either conventionally or truly existent. And here truly existence is according to Sautrantika assertions. So according to you, Sautrantika, whether Buddhas exist conventionally or exist truly, it is suitable to make offerings to Buddhas and the like, that a result will arise from making offerings to them is taught in the scriptures by the Buddhas. So Buddhas taught in the scriptures that making offerings to Buddhas, then one will experience a result. There will be a result from making offerings to Buddhas. And this is taught by Buddhas in the scriptures. Then, for example, is just like how you have asserted that there is a result with respect to truly existent Buddhas. So Buddha taught that making offerings to Buddhas and etc. So then there will be a result. So whether you assert conventionally or whether you assert as truly existent, then there will be a result, since Buddha has already taught so. So for example, it's just like how you have asserted that there is a result with respect to truly existent Buddhas. So according to Sautrantikas, then they assert a Dharma as truly existent. They assert phenomena as truly existent. So for them, then Buddha exists truly as well. So according to you, Sautrantikas, so if you according to your assertions, then Buddhas exist truly. So if make offerings to a truly existent Buddhas, then there will be a result. So similar to this, then paying no heed to analyzing the meaning of suchness for the time being is sufficient for me that results arise in accordance with things, be they real or false, means that, so according to your assertion, so Buddhas exist truly. So if you make offerings to them, if you make offerings to Buddhas, then there will be a result. So similarly, I I, so that refers to our own system that regards or that assert Buddhas do not exist truly. And however, if you make offerings to Buddhas who do not exist truly, then merit will arise, because it is taught by Buddhas that making offerings to them, there will be a result. So, yeah, yeah. So means that so it's not about whether merits will arise or not. So that refers to the results, right? So it is not about whether merit will arise or not. So it is about whether uh, you regard Buddhas as truly existent or not. Then if you make offerings to Buddhas, one will accumulate merits. So it's not about whether merits will arise or not. So regardless of you asserting that Buddhas exist truly or not, if you make offerings to Buddhas, merit will arise. So result will arise. So that is true, right? So some people that regard Buddhas as truly existent, and then they make offerings to Buddhas, there will be a result. Then similar to those who do not regard Buddhas as truly existent, and if they make offerings to Buddhas, then there will be a result also, right? So therefore, since the cause are accomplished, then there will be a result. So because the cause and coming cause and effect are undeceiving. And under the outlines of argument, and under this outline is verse 40, verse 2 line. Say, by seeing the truths, one will be freed. What is the use of seeing emptiness?
Sanje topala toni to mares kelege de chunga to de sanje topala toni to mogiba maze chu dames na minza kemele de chu dames on fani kemele de dire chunga to de wa chu dames ta ne kemele de ki kemele ba maze chu dame de be ti ka kele wa na de chu dame de be wa chu dame de do de ti ka chu kemele de lo da chunga dire niglo wora da o da dige de lo wore da tini roa kemlege tini chi dame temi tiji ka minza kemlege deba chimendo de ka kemlege dires shunga zo de dires roa akasa shunga zo de dires da tini odi da kanda da nso kanda kozo karlo wasna denge moda studio da kozo tunda omal shinga zo denge raba shi roa denge raba zo ke shi denge moda studio de raba ke shi roa da ranji ba me jenga do denge moda studio la sa ba de定了快喇叭嘛说人中嘛是吧
on the yang
当时记录喇叭你就没当时记录喇叭了给写过是吧点了给你这就把头的说到让几个没去唱这个点了点多了让几个没去就知道刚刚
等是喇叭的那么就点做点喇叭的
好了嘛想是吧那这个这是怎么的凶啊差的过去什么凶啊让几个没去刚刚的凶啊差的过去是吧可是呢你就没当时记录了点呢다준도 고파 토야 타파 토야 이거래서 뭐 무슨 이거래 나 돈이 제일 갑자기 또 그래 돈이 뭐야 뭐도 왔어 나가 돈이 또 뭐야 요새 나 정말 좋아데 취지 담에 또 캐면게 취지 담에 캐는 게 좋더라 이렇게 말와 나 샤라 런지 받는 수 나간다 가자 쇼마들 샤라 런지 받는 디너 수 나간다 런지 받는 수로 가르친 지고서는 런지바 그러나 타바토바라 간다기 다음에 그러나 환적으로 와 간다기 다음에 몸에 도시 타바토로 걸었어 런지바 간다기 다음에 되게 못해서 죽지 간다기 다음에 열어 간다기 다음에 먼저 지지 좀 받을 돈 타바토로 걸었어 누구야 그러지 그때 타주할 때는 라바라바 찾아 와 라바라바리 와 어디 런지바도 눈에 치료 그래서 간다 샬라 런지바도 가는 거 간다 와 가서做的가서 너 체마 너 까미신 게 와. 취지 담에 되는 도데 까케면 게 다녀 뒤에 봐도 쇼가做的 되리 해서 가서 做的 와. 다 샤라 라지바 가는 거 해서 된다. 샤라. 와. 와 다데 이거 뭐 소리스. 다도 저거는 간다. 돈이 또 벌어. 아니 스티팔에 좋아라 랑도 이네 이번에 그 말에 딱 간다 그러더니 돈이 또 벌어 내봐도 타바토발라 돈이 내봐 또 그래. 다 엄마 던져 봐 가고 타바토발라 내봐도 돈이 또 그래. 상제 토발라 내봐 또 그래. 아 자자와. 자자와. 상제 토발라 돈이 또 그래. 마지 타바토발라 내봐 돈이 또 그래. 해서 봐. 다 내봐 또 그래. 그래서 가서 또데 다다 최다 캐는 게 다음에
최다 캐밀랭이요.
요 취다 캐는
아,
게 최다 캐는 게 취지 다음에 때문에 너데 까디 까캐는 게做的 샤라 런지 받는 수로 해서 하나
做的年对吧点做的年对吧卡西罗那样的可是去到开零年年对吧卡西的做的家具的你点下来是这样让给我的做让给我当面积点做的让仓我的样的出去了冲啊了出去了
가서 치료
here school 이네 양데 년도 바 카시 양데 가장 추기 다음에开零年有了
밤에 되는 말이 돈이 캐는 게 이었다
동이开零年有了
근데 다들 이제 做
동이开零
취지 담에서 내가 미자 캐면 이게 종아리 做
동이开零年有了동이开米零年有了동이开零年난 동이开米零年有了
십자가 때 도지 좋아 도지 취지 담에 미자 캐면 이게 되래 취지 담에 때문에 도지 까 캐면 야 니들 가게 까 캐네 오라 그러면 까 캐네 게 되요
Here is school by familiarizing with the direct seeing of the aspects of the Four Noble Truths, such as impermanence, one will attain freedom, the result of all destroyer. What is the use of seeing the emptiness of true existence of all phenomena? It is purposeless and inappropriate. According to the Hearist school, not only is the realizations of emptiness not necessary for the attainment of Buddhahood, even the mere name selflessness of phenomena is not accepted, and the Mahayana Sutra sets are not accepted as the words of the Buddha. So here it refers specifically to Hearist school. It refers specifically to Hearist school who accept the self of phenomena. So here it says that they do not accept selflessness of phenomena, right? So it means that they accept or they assert the self of phenomena. So this is the main opponent that that here is refuting. And then here it says as an ancillary topic, right? So as an ancillary
Ken, we can't hear you, Ken. They're both lost. There's no internet in LDC. We just wait a bit.
Muted. Yeah, sorry. LDC Wi-Fi is down, so Kishla is joining through his handphone. Okay, hold on. I also need to connect.只有 mari internet mindu. Kishla de kangi pa tangi video tang na tiro. De lazo. Isha de video mari ya lo le de ko mari. Hold on. I also need to turn on my hotspot. Turn on my Bluetooth and USB.
Siki mando tresel ha, chiro tsumat ne ha. Shogun ando chishele. Shogun taran do jaku tresel.
얘들아, 이렇게는 많이 됐고.
쿠츠로 시사했대. 장당 인여 기본 인여다.
나 LDC랑.
에디스랑 해.
무슨 나로라 요에.
알렉스.
Never mind, then I just use this Zoom. We need to turn on hotspot.
또 저 모바일 반드시 찍었다.
이게 뭐 모바일도 보시던.
Recording in progress.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, can hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Wi-Fi is not back yet. Yep, so I will use my phone, so I cannot share screen. Yeah. So So here's when we talk about this hero school, then by familiarizing with the direct seeing of the aspects of the Four Noble Truths, such as impermanence. So here it talks about the 16 aspects of the Four Noble Truths. So they say that if one is familiarizing with the direct realizations of these 16 aspects of the Four Noble Truths, then one can attain liberation or freedom or the result of full destroyer. Then what is the point of seeing the emptiness of true existence of all phenomena? So here it talks about the emptiness of kind of selflessness of phenomena. Connect. Hold on. Yeah.
Can you hear?
Can. Yeah. Then. Yeah. So, this is the main. So the main opponent refers to those hero school who assert that realizations of emptiness is not necessary for the attainment of Buddhahood, and they do not even accept the mere name of selflessness of phenomena, and they also do not assert that Mahayana Sutra sets are the words of the Buddhas. So these are the main opponents to be refuted, and as an ancillary topic. So here these can be translated as additionally. So additionally means that not only the hero school with such assertions is refuted here. It includes those Svatantika Madhyamika and below who assert that who assert herself of phenomena. So who assert the self of phenomena. So because these schools do not even assert the mere name of selflessness of phenomena, right? So it means that they assert the self of phenomena. So even those Svatantika Madhyamika schools, they are included in these opponents to be refuted. So, yeah. Yeah. So, for Svatantika Madhyamika, then they assert that if one can attain liberation by the realizations of person, by realizing that person exists, oh yeah, Svatantika Madhyamika, they assert that one can attain liberation by realizing the emptiness of person being self-sufficiently substantially existent. Self-sufficient, substantially existent. So for for Svatantika Madhyamika, they assert that one can attain liberation by realizing the emptiness, by realizing the selflessness of person as being self-sufficient, substantially existent. Yeah, and however, this selflessness of person being empty, because persons being empty of self-sufficient, substantially existent is a course object of refutation to be refuted by Madhyamika, Prasangika Madhyamika as well. So basically, here you see, so here not only the hero school who has such assertion is refuted here, including Svatantika Madhyamika and below, who assert the self of phenomena are refuted here as well. So even though the Mahayana Sutra sets are accepted to be valid, the realizations of the selflessness of phenomena is not necessary for the attainment of the result of full destroyer, asserting the proof that the very wisdom realizing emptiness is the path that liberates from cyclic existence. They will state these passages.
그래서 당시 저한테 기치시는 거다. 유럽의 게 대단하다. 맞아. 된다 도도 장야돼. 뭐 현재 출시가 이게. 그러와. 다 같이 저 크리스 감사로와. 다 장야做되면서 대화식의 님목이 뭐 대신이 뭐 정신이 리스. 진지지 리스. 와. 상지지 리스. 다도 소 개정 받다. 정신이 진지지 상지지 리스와 대신이 뭐 就是怎么你我的亲怎么当家的话，地区的，那等到做满处的开始呢，我是第一怎么过的，白点家也多，第一怎么过的旁边啊，或是对了白点白青起来，这样不住过去，第一个白点，第一看起白点的话，我第一看起白点要等你满处过去，第一看起白点家的，第一怎么去白点家就是话。我到这满处把生活学习，也开始当家有的话，当家生活当家，这给全部学下的，当然就要是吧？这是这样子，你是做这样的做的，你开始当家，他这样子练是吧？练是吧？我到做满处呀，我这样去，他学以前你是练的好是吧？
Yeah. So, So we stop here. This Bodhisattva Avatara class. So then, lastly, I would like to encourage all of you. So regarding this, the sublime continuum. So in particular, the Tathagata essence. So I have prepared a quiz, and then the quiz has already sent out to all of you. Have been sent out to all of you. So it's very so. I would like to encourage all of you to study this quiz and which summarizes those very important points. So in this quiz, it includes the entity or the definitions of Sukhata essence, of the naturally abiding lineage, of developmental lineage, and also the Buddha lineage. So these definitions are included in this quiz. So please study well regarding this point. And besides that, and there are nine analogy and meaning with regarding there are nine defilements, nine obscuring defilements, and then and in relation to these, then there are analogies and meanings stated in the quiz as well, and also the nine nine analogies and meanings of uh, so there are nine analogies and meanings of the basic element, the objects of obscuration. So these two sets, then try to understand them clearly and then without mixing up. So the first set is the nine analogies and meanings of the defilements, which are the obscure obstructors. And then the second set is there are nine analogies and meanings of the basic element, which is the objects of obscuration. In other words, the object being obscured. So these two sets, and try to understand them clearly without missing up. And then these are the very important points that we have studied in the Tathagata essence or the sublime continuum. So these questions might come out in our test.
对，
等到电力对报堂，咱们就能送。
这是不起是吧？
这必须得要累有那，就是。
Ken, I will
Yes.
stop the record.